Hey, Fat Buddy Cat here, guys. I'm going to do a little bit of a torque converter demonstration shootout review, I guess, on these three bikes. I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to the bikes and show you what we're working with. This is the OMB Ultimate Torque Bug. Um, this bike has a Predator 212 non-Hemi with a Hemi piston, billet rod, billet flywheel, 18-pound springs, non-EPA carb, Predator jet kit, and a twist-on muffler. This is running a standard 30 series with a 54 tooth rear and a 10 tooth in the front. So this motor is governed, guys. Even with all those modifications, it was governed. It was set up for this reason. This is a really fun, really usable all-around bike. I kind of knew where I was going with this, and this is so that you can ease it up. If you're just cruising around, it makes it easier to start. It's just, less maintenance, less to worry about. If somebody wants to get on and ride it because it looks like it's something fun to do, they have better odds. I also have, the safety return spring set up here, so if any of you guys get to doing that, make sure you get that on there. All right. The next bike, this is a Go Power Sports bike that I'm working on. It's not complete. It's not the engine that I want on this bike. But this is a built 196. This is a Hyson 196 off of a Coleman CT200U. It was off of a early 2016. It had the 3/4 shaft on it. I got the motor. It was basically new, and I built it for a bike that I no longer had a big appreciation for, I should say. I lost my interest in that particular bike and moved on to other things, but I kept the motor. It has a billet rod, PVL flywheel. This has the 4-degree key, so that'll give you the 32 degrees. It's got 22-pound springs, a CS grindcore cam. It's built for 7,000 is what this cam is. I think it's the wrong cam for what I'm going for with this bike. It's just not what I want to do, and you guys will see. I'll have some upcoming things for this, but it has the Super 30 series on it, and we're going to be taking that 30 series off and switching it to the other machines, and seeing how they like it, how they react. And I'm using 3 different engines that are set up a little bit different, so that you guys might compare it to something that you have or you might be thinking about doing, including the cam setup and everything else. The next bike is another MM80. This one's kind of a mixed batch. This is an ultralight project that I'm working on, so it has the stock tires, wheels, everything. It does have hydraulic disc brakes. This is a GX160 that's on this. It's built pretty well. It's got a long rod, short skirt, flat piston, 22-pound springs. It's a 168 aftermarket block with a Honda 14cc head. It's got the Honda valves, the Honda cam. The only thing that's not Honda was the crank and the block itself, because the original build that was on the Honda block ended up being a little too aged, and it had some, what I thought may have been cracks or just wear on the edges of the block, around the bearings and stuff. It just didn't, it had a little oil seepage and I didn't like it, so I got rid of it. Anyways, it's got the PVL flywheel on it. I didn't add any timing to it beyond the 32 that it came with, or 28 degrees I believe it comes with on the PVL. Side exit header, RLV. This thing idles really high. It has to, in order to keep up with the carb. All of my bikes have the 212 non-EPA carb with the 38 140 jets. This one will load if you don't give it some more idle. So that's why that one is the way it is. It's kind of tricky to ride. It's really tricky to ride in the snow, but we're kind of after performance of the torque converters today and what they do and whether or not they make a difference. So maybe traction is something. Where that one has the hard stock V-treads on it, this bike over here has the suspension, and it has the 15 by 5.6 whole shot tires. I think they're just Carlisle snowblow tires that they put on it. But anyways, it's a nice little package that I ordered, and Go Power Sports filled for me, and I really appreciate it, because those tires, to me, I mean, they make the bike, and it kind of needs it. It's a little bit of an animal, and we're gonna go faster on that bike soon. So anyways, those are the 3 bikes. I'm gonna get to doing some tests for you. Yesterday I did a few rides on this, just some POV stuff, so you guys can see what it's like sitting on them. But I'm gonna try to give you some shots today where I do some ride bys, and we'll go over the benefits of the torque converters on each bike. All right, see you soon. guys, Fat Buddy Cat here. Just some final thoughts on the 3 bikes. On this bike here, I would like to try a Super 30 series on dry ground. It tends to ride about 4,000 RPM with my big butt on there. This being a GX 160 and the way it's built, it does continue to make power higher up in the RPM range. These bikes can cruise, man. So that one I think might benefit from it. This bike right here, take it or leave it. It really wasn't designed to go in that type of RPM range. Is it smooth? Yeah. Is it usable? Yes. But the way that this bike is designed, and I was hoping I was able to go up the hill a little bit slower and show you where you would hear or notice more on the engagement, but it was just really, really loose, and I'm sorry about that, guys. You know, there's nothing I can do. So this bike can creep, all right, and it can cruise, and it bounces around and has all kinds of little quirks to it, but it's really solid. I haven't even had to tighten the chain since building this bike, and I've run it hard a few times. I've had no problems whatsoever with the chain tensioner. So, you know, that's just my thoughts there. You know, this bike will probably run about 6,000 RPM with the way it's governed and all the internals and whatnot. That bike over there, that bike does not like regular 30 series torque converters. Even though it's only a 7,000 RPM cam, the 14cc head, it'll eat the belts on a regular 30 series. Anywhere, a nice thing with this motor and the Super 30 series is engine control. Being able to use the entire power band of the motor, that is a really cool thing about that bike. I would like it to go faster. And I think we're going to do that with displacement and use that motor maybe for something else. You know, so these super drivers have their places. This bike, if you want to do wheelies and you want to have fun like that and you just want to keep it on the cheap, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this setup right here. This one, I would actually, honestly, I would recommend having both. That bike, stick with the regular, and that one over there, I would go with the Super Series. Alright, guys, so that's my final answer on that. And, you know, we all know what this thing over here does, and we all know what stock engines do to those. You know, there's a perfect example. You know, there's a beautiful engine, plenty of usable horsepower. It does absolutely awesome on that cart, and it's on a standard 30 series. All right, but if you put that engine on this bike with this torque converter, it doesn't go anywhere, guys. All right, so just things to be aware of when you're out looking at these things. You know, just pay attention to what you're doing and ask questions, you know, and sometimes guys are willing to do dumb stuff like me. All right, have a good night. Thanks for watching.